So ICE just killed another American. Just shot him 5 times in the back in Minnesota. And I am struggling processing that. Like, I think a lot of people are struggling processing that, because that means that we now have a government that only cares about attacking and harming its citizens. And this incident, similar to all the other incidents, has just slowly but surely started eating at me, like it has, because I'm somebody that is very empathetic. I'm somebody that wants to make sure. I'm somebody that is like, I keep feeling the pain of every single picture. And my body, I've started seeing that exhibit in my body. I've been very exhausted, and I've been very tired and fatigued. And on one hand, it's like, I need to take some time to just breathe. Like, breathe. Take a deep breath. But on the other hand, I don't want to be exhausted. And I know that this is a part of their plan, to exhaust you, to tire you out of the fight. And I sit in a place where on one hand, I just don't know what to say. But on the other hand, I know everything to say. And I was thinking of like, hey, don't make no content. Don't make no videos. Go lay down in the bed. Act as though, go sit down and just deal with this. But I kept thinking to myself, or I could make content. And I could share how sad and angry and upset I feel about the situation. And even if one person watches it, they'll see their emotions reflected. And in this moment, I think about the fact that all of our world leaders, all of our politicians, have refused to stand up in this moment. How a lot of them have chosen institutions and norms as a way to justify their inaction and their cowardice. I think of the fact that my own governor, right, like where I'm currently at, Kathleen Marie Hobbs, has chosen to do nothing to protect and safeguard her constituents. And instead has basically thrown her hands up and decided that, you know what, if ICE comes in here to kidnap a bunch of people, that's totally okay because I can't do anything. And that reminds me of the fecklessness that I see in DC, and how a lot of these individuals in DC and how of these leaders, whether Hakeem Jeffries or Chuck Schumer, have done nothing to protect people. Alex Pretti was doing more than it is and our elected officials. This was an ICU nurse that saw somebody get pushed on the ground, and the first thing he decided to do was to protect them. And because he had the nerve and the audacity to protect them, that pissed off the ICE agents. I've been working on this idea. Like, I've been trying to parse this out. Why exactly did they feel the need to unload so many clips into him? And I honestly think it's because Alex Pretti had the nerve and the audacity to be a white man that cared about other people. Similar to Renee Nicole Good, who had the audacity to care about non-white people. And I think that ICE agent looking down, seeing and seeing a good person, seeing a good human, irritated him, because that ICE agent is a fucking loser. He's a fucking loser. He's a pathetic human being. That is a person that has never been loved by anybody in his life. That is a man that goes home and cries himself to sleep because he's a pathetic loser. That is a bitch of a human being. And looking at Alex defending other people, caring for other people, made that imbecile so scared. Right? Made him so fucking scared because he's such a pathetic piece of shit that he felt the need to try to overcompensate. That is a human being that was looking at somebody else who he knew was a better person than him. That is a weak, feckless man that knew Alex was a way better person than him. There's going to be a lot of people that are scared. And I myself have found myself in a place where I'm not scared per se, but I am angry and I'm distraught at the death, at the casualty of death, at the casualty of harm. Like, on one hand, I understand that they're using all of this as a way to exhaust us, to constantly put our nervous system through this crazy, unregulated, emotional trauma. And in a way, it is working, but on the other hand, I look at what I see in Minnesota, in Minneapolis. I look at what I saw yesterday Friday, January 23rd, the first official U.S. boycott that I have ever seen in my life. I saw a state get together and advocate on their behalf. I saw individuals that may not know each other, that may have never met each other, but all live underneath the state of Minnesota, decide to advocate for each other. And I sit here as a person who may not have luxury, who may not have wealth, who may not have privilege. And I think to myself, if a ICU nurse and a suburban mom can go out there and use everything within their power to fight back against fascism, then I can get my ass up and make a video and organize and protest and push back as much as possible. And push back as much as possible. Because luckily, I know how that fucking poem ends. Because I understand that if ICE feels comfortable shooting a white woman 3 times in the head and feels comfortable loading clips into a white man, that ICE is not going to stop at just immigrants. And I know there's a lot of individuals at this moment who have decided that this is not their fight or this is not their plight and they don't care. Good for you. Hopefully you get a gold star and a cookie. In the meantime, I understand that none of this shit is going to keep us safe and only we're going to have to keep ourselves safe. So I can look up in the stars and hope that Barack Obama gets his ass in Minnesota and uses his clout and power to push back. Because ICE is stupid, but ICE is not that stupid to try to potentially put a former president in harm. And I understand that a lot of celebrities could use their voice right now to go to Minnesota and advocate and push back. But I also understand that rich people will never save us. And I luckily have always hated rich people. So in this moment where I'm exhausted, where I'm tired, where I'm pissed the fuck off, where I see DHS lying day in and day out, where I see the Democrats capitulating and seven of them having the nerve and the audacity to align themselves with fascism and to vote for more DHS and ICE funding, I understand that none of these individuals matter at this moment. And instead, I understand that all of those individuals, they're not the ones that are going to lead us out of this situation. Instead, we are. So in this moment that I am genuinely scared for my fellow Americans, I am still hopeful. Good luck, America.